So, guten Morgen miteinander, guten Tag meine Damen und Herren, good morning ladies and gentlemen. Ich begrüße Sie zu dieser Medienkonferenz, deren Thema nicht der Launch einer neuen Airline ist, sondern die Möglichkeit, mit den Gründern des Projekts Swiss Skies direkt in Kontakt zu treten, mit Álvaro Oliveira, mit Armin Bovensiepen, mit Harald. Ich bin Adrian Kohler, ich bin Medienverantwortlicher des Projekts Swiss Skies. Lassen Sie mich nochmal auf die Aussage gerade am Anfang zurückkommen. Die 4 Gründer von Swiss Skies haben Anfang Woche nicht eine neue Airline gelauncht, sondern ihre Idee präsentiert, wie sie ein neues Kapitel in der Flugindustrie schreiben wollen, primär mit dem Ziel, mit möglichen Investoren ins Gespräch zu kommen. Dies hat ein mediales Echo ausgelöst, das uns effektiv alle überrascht hat. Alle wollten plötzlich mit den 4 sprechen, viele ihrer Kolleginnen und Kollegen, die auch nicht da sind, und dies machen wir heute möglich. Wie läuft das ab? Wir haben bis 11 Uhr Zeit. Die 4 werden sich vorstellen. Zuerst noch mal ganz kurz die Eckpunkte des Projekts erläutern und dann für Fragen zur Verfügung stehen. Weil 4 der 5 nicht Muttersprache Deutsch haben, werde ich die Fragen entgegennehmen und falls nötig auch in beide Richtungen übersetzen. Falls Sie auch einen Begriff in Englisch nicht verstehen sollten, es gibt Dinge, wir haben zum Beispiel über Narrow Body Aircrafts gesprochen, das ist so ein Begriff, dann werde ich das selbstverständlich auch übersetzen. Das Wort aber haben jetzt die 4 und möchte Álvaro bitten, sich vorzustellen. Álvaro, please.
Okay. So, good morning to everyone. Welcome to this press conference. Today, the idea is to introduce for you a bit of the project and ourselves. We begin with the team. The experience of the team brings the pillars to sustain an airline operation. We have experience in airline startups, so we know how to set up a new AOC, which is the Air Operator Certificate, the certificate that an institution needs to have in order to provide public transport. We have experience in low-cost companies operation, and we have this mentality. We are safety-minded and quality-oriented in everything we do as well. So I am Álvaro Oliveira. I am a Swiss citizen, Brazilian-born. I am in this industry since the last 29 years as a pilot and also as an airline executive. In my career, I occupied positions as a manager, director, and also vice president. Armin.
Yeah, thanks. Guten Morgen, a very warm welcome also from my side. I'm Armin Bovensiepen. I have 20 years of experience in the aviation industry. I have been working in several airline companies and in aviation companies. My focus was always the commercial side, so I know how to sell and to build a product. I've been head of sales of an airline. I've been a chief commercial officer of a touristic airline, and yeah, together we will make this happen. Harald.
Good morning. My name is Harald Vogels. I'm more than 15 years in the aviation industry. Worked for 10 years for the Airline FedEx Express, and then 7 years for Farnair, which was an aviation group here based in Switzerland, where I had the position of CFO and then managing director. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Philippe Blaise. I am a French citizen living in Switzerland. I am within the aviation business since over 25 years. I worked in several airlines in Switzerland and the Middle East. My specialty is procurement, contracts, logistics. So this means more on the technical side. for aircraft parts, aircraft systems, services for and around the aircraft. During my years at Etihad in Abu Dhabi, we were operating the A320 family already. So this aircraft is well known to me. And by the way, Etihad is now retrofitting the CEO fleet into the new Neo fleet, the airplane we are going to talk afterwards.
Good. We have a short presentation to show you the principal aspects of this project. So we are building a platform to operate out of rich secondary catchment areas. And Basel has been chosen to be the first one. This platform that we are building consists of some elements. So the A321neo LR, the airplane that is our tool, our chosen instruments, we plug in together point-to-point flying, offering low fares and frequencies. These are the four basic principles of this concept. And in doing that, we'll be creating convenience on the mobility of people that will boost local economies. Still about Basel, local statistics show that Basel is the right place to begin. We have an area of around 7 million people, and there is a missing part in the Basel infrastructure or in the area infrastructure. This missing piece is exactly long-haul point-to-point flights. Even though the EuroAirport offers a good infrastructure for the area, it is underserved when we consider long-haul flights.
Yeah, at the time when the four of us met, we realized that something is changing in the aviation industry. And the change, the shift is put forward from two aspects. On the one aspect, it's a market shift, yeah? And the other aspect is a technology shift. Today, aviation, especially the long-haul aviation, is, let's say, quite orderly set up. On the one hand, you have the well-known established airlines, and on the other hand, you have on the short haul, on the regional, the low-cost carriers, also well-known. Since some years, there is also the development that there are coming low-cost long-haul carriers. And those long-haul carriers, they are building their setup on the so-called wide-body Großraumflugzeuge setup. So aircrafts which travel and transport about more than 300 passengers. But the technology has shifted. Airbus and Boeing were working on the so-called mid-of-the-market aircraft technology. Aircrafts who can fly long range and carry less passengers, so below 200 people. And that was one of the initial thoughts when we discussed, is there a chance to build a new airline? We said, yes, there is a chance, because the technology is there to fly passengers from smaller markets direct to international markets with a profitable airline setup due to a very good and competitive cost position. And we have been working the last 2 years on that model to create a business model. Because the most important aspect when founding an airline is you need to understand where's your market, you need to understand where is your position in the market. And we think we have found, let's say, a robust platform and model. And how is this model being built? There are 4 pillars which we think are strong enough to make this concept work, to build up a long-haul, low-cost niche carrier. The first pillar is the cost position. With technology and with the setup of the company, we will be able to deliver a 30% cost leadership position compared to the established carriers. This will be possible because we are a new entrant. We can decide on all the pieces and elements of that company. This is possible also due to the aircraft. The aircraft has a strong cost position and to transport passengers very efficiently from smaller airports. The second pillar is that we will give something to the passengers. We will give them lifetime back. We will save up to 30% travel time for the passengers who need to fly from smaller airports and smaller catchment areas to long-haul international markets. Today, they have great connections via all the great airports in Europe or in the US, but it's a transfer flight. They will have 2 hours waiting time most of the time and will transfer then to their final destination. We will make a direct flight possible from smaller catchments, like Basel is one, and this will be a direct travel and saving for each flight between 2 and 4 hours. So lifetime was the other aspect of our business model. The third pillar of our business model is, can we build a profitable company? You know? And when we brought all the ingredients together of our, let's say, cocktail, we found that we will be able to operate from smaller catchments in a profitable way with such an aircraft. And this is possible because the Airbus A321LR has a really unrivaled cost position. And that all turns out into the fourth pillar of our setup. We will give the passenger some of those elements with an affordable price concept. We will have a lower fare offer to our passengers, that they can think of traveling to international markets for a low fare. And our price scheme is set up with a bandwidth of products. We have unbundled products. So on the one hand of the price range, we have, let's call it a naked product where you just have a seat. And on the other hand of the product range, we do have our all-inclusive prices. We also will have a product available for our corporate customers. With those elements, we are convinced to build up a new concept. And as soon as we have mastered the stage of fundraising, we will then launch at a later stage the airline, giving more information about how the product looks like. Our idea is to take advantage of the situation of the new technology to be part of the next chapter in the aviation industry due to the aircraft, due to direct flights from smaller catchment areas, and also very important, this is the opportunity with a greenfield approach or a new entrant. We will focus our management principle on simplicity. So we will build an airline which has less complexity, and that turns into a lower cost position. Also, we will take advantage of the new technology development. We can use all the modern technology available now and build a really digital experience for our customers.
Okay. We have a couple of information for you regarding our aircraft, the chosen aircraft. So the A320 family is the most robust family of aircraft for short and medium range flying all over the world. And Airbus is making available now to the market a new variant of this family, which is the 321neo, call it LR, from long range. So they installed additional fuel tanks, and with the efficiency of this new engine, the airplane is capable of flying up to 4,200 nautical miles. This engine is a game changer in the industry because it offers 15% fuel savings, so it's more environmentally friendly, and the fuel efficiency is translated directly to the cost of the company. The optimum configuration of the airplane for long haul is around 190 seats. That's what we are aiming to, and this is called optimum because it's a balance between the product and the range. The airplane is capable of having 224 seats. Once you put just 190, you offer more space for the customers. So we are balancing this space between a product for the customer, the corporate customer, and a product or more than one product for the leisure travelers. One other advantage which is very important of this airplane is the noise emission. Those engines, they have a 50% lower noise emission than the previous generation. It's a very silent airplane. This is thanks to the new technology adopted in these engines, which is called the geared turbofan. The engines work at a lower rotation, so issuing less noise.
Harold. Yeah, so I'll talk a bit more about the outcome of our business model. So as Armin and Alvaro clarified, so we have a very specific business model we want to implement, and we translated that business model into a financial plan. We took our time to do that. It was very important that we took that time because we want to come to a confidence level on the numbers which is high. So we don't want to just come with a new model and that we don't know what the outcome would be. No, we have taken our time to make sure that we have the right confidence. So the numbers that you see here on the screen is the outcome in year 5. So we made a 6-year plan, which, let's say year 0 is a build-up of the airline, and then a 5-year running growth of the operation. And this is the outcome in year 5, where we have 38 aircraft, so based in Basel in Europe, 46 destinations, 161 routes, 3.8 million passengers, and $1.5 billion of revenue, with an assumed load factor of 82%. This is a conservative approach that we've taken because it is below the average that we could see in long-haul airlines. But it was important for us to not to be overly optimistic, but to be realistic and conservative. Thanks to what we believe competitive advantage of our business model, we will create value, and that value will then be distributed to the customer through lower fares, but as well, of course, to financial performance for the investors. And that's what we're doing currently, is that we're in the process of now talking to investors to raise required capital.
Ja, ich wechsle mal die Sprache, weil ich gehe davon aus, dass viele von Ihnen Deutsch sprechen. Das ist ein kurzer Überblick zu unserer Gründungsidee. Wir haben heute die Möglichkeit, miteinander uns auszutauschen, einige Fragen zu beantworten. Was ist an dieser Idee wichtig? Uns ist wichtig, das nächste Kapitel in der Aviation Industry ist wird. Dafür gibt es jetzt eine Opportunität zu starten. Diese wollen wir wahrnehmen. Wir haben in unserer Marktforschung uns intensiv mit Europa beschäftigt und festgestellt, es gibt etliche Quellmärkte, die groß genug sind auf der einen Seite, aber auch werthaltig genug sind, um Direktflüge anzubieten. Also es gibt genug Passagierströme, die sowohl hochwertige Preise, also vielleicht Firmenkunden beinhalten, aber auch attraktiv sind für Privatreiseverkehr. Die Flugzeugtechnologie verändert sich gerade. Das ist sicherlich einer der wichtigsten Bausteine in unserem Konzept. Mit diesem Flugzeug kann man eine sehr effiziente Langstreckenoperation aufstellen und zu einer Kostenposition operieren, dass es möglich macht, kleinere Märkte international anzubinden. Und wir haben uns wirklich Zeit genommen, das Businessmodell auszuarbeiten, unser Finanzkonzept. Es ist stabil, es ist fähig, einen Wert für Investoren, aber auch viel wichtiger für unsere Kunden zu liefern. Und diese Geschichte wollten wir Ihnen heute präsentieren, weil es so eine große Nachfrage gab. Und ja, Adrian, vielleicht.
Freuen uns jetzt auf die Fragen. Genau, ich glaube, es ist Zeit. Ich möchte Sie bitten, vielleicht Ihren Namen zu nennen und auch für welches Medium Sie da sind, und gebe das Wort gerade dem Herrn.
Ja, ich spreche vom Handelsplatz. Morgen. Englisch oder Deutsch?
Well, both is okay. Well, English is better because they understand the question, and I will probably translate the answer.
Three questions if I may. One is just practical. How did you get together to get this idea for the project? Then we learned that you talked with investors yesterday. Can you give us any insight on this job too, or what the reaction was? In other words, how many billions have you got? And third, there's been other airlines trying a low-cost approach for long distance. Norwegian, for example, they seem to have run into trouble there. So what were the lessons you learned from the competition?
Thank you very much, Michael. Alvaro, how did you come to the idea?
Well, we lived a bit of everything during those long years in the industry, and as soon as Airbus announced this new product, just a quick comparison. Since Boeing ended the production of the 757, which was another similar aircraft more or less 20 years ago, this market has seen no possibility of being served. Since Airbus launched and announced the launch of this 321 long range, I start thinking that this could be a possible game changer. And we believe that this is going to be really the next chapter in the aviation. The hub system is still there. It is going to continue to work, but there is demand growing in secondary catchments. And if you put a big airplane on those markets, you cannot be successful. So the size of the airplane is key to have success on those markets. That's the point. And when we met and we start discussing this, we all reached the same conclusion. It is possible, and it is a very great idea to start something like that.
Okay. Harald, what about the investors?
Yeah, so yesterday we held an investor event. That event was mainly to address the investor community in the area. In parallel of that, we are working as well on an international side to talk to institutional investors. And so to go back to your question, yes, there was a good audience. So we was meeting our expectation, but the event was really geared towards raising interest with the investor. And then, of course, next steps now is to go with one-on-one meetings with the interested investors to raise more capital. And in parallel, we're talking to then institutionals around the world to come to our required capital to start the operation.
Armin, andere Airlines haben es auch schon probiert oder probieren es?
Ja, ich denke, was unser Konzept unterscheidet von dem, sage ich mal, Marktteilnehmern, die es heute schon gibt, ist, dass wir gesagt haben, wir gucken uns die kleineren Nischenmärkte an. Wir planen nicht von großen Primary Airports zu fliegen, sondern aus der Fläche heraus. Das ist, denke ich mal, einer der ganz elementaren Unterschiede zu dem, was wir heute im Markt schon sehen. Es geht auch nicht darum, irgendwie uns zu vergleichen mit dem, was schon da ist, sondern wir sind davon überzeugt, dass wir mit unseren Elementen die Möglichkeit haben, dort in der Nische ein profitables Konzept auf die Beine zu stellen.
Nächste Frage bitte.
Tobias Bossart, Swiss Television. So you said that you raised already some money, if you correct
Yeah,
it. So my question is, how much did you already raise, and how much you want to really raise? Is this 100 million, and how much do you will give it yourself? I mean, for?
So yeah, so there is, as I think you're rightly saying, there are basically 3 sources of capital that we will have to use. There is our own capital, family and friends that we already raised. Then there is a part. There's a part. Let me first. There's a part of the community here, which could be private investors, and then you have part of the institutional investors. So we require 100 million to launch the start of operations. That is then divided into 2 rounds. There is round A and round B. So round A is 15 million, so that we can build the airline, and then another 15 million to start operating. And then we require a round C further down the line to further grow, to support the growth of the company. So we are in talks with some of the investors, but we have an NDA signed with those investors. Of course, unfortunately, we can't disclose names or numbers today. Once we say there will be in the future, we will be able to disclose more information.
Very good also. Revenue. You launched your project with the name Swiss Skies. Can you tell us already something about the future name and how important in the future the Swissness will be?
Also der Arbeitstitel, ist ja auch mit dem Projekt vorangestellt, ist ein Arbeitstitel. Das ist nicht der finale Markenname. Und den stellen wir Ihnen auch heute nicht vor, weil heute ist nicht der Event, um die Airline zu starten, sondern die Projektidee zu diskutieren. Wir sind eine Schweizer Firma, von daher wird es natürlich Schweizer Elemente in dieser Firma geben. Und für die Passagiere wird sich das erfahren lassen durch eine solide und gute Qualität in der Reiseerfahrung.
Wem darf ich das Wort geben? Bitte schön.
Konrad Sterling vom Blick. Wissen Sie schon, neben Basel und Cincinnati, ob es welche die weiteren Destinationen sein werden, und können Sie die schon herausfinden?
Ja. Natürlich, Flugplanung ist eine ganz wichtige und spannende Frage. Wir haben, stand ja auch im Interview in der Financial Times, wir haben eine Flugplanung gemacht. Aber heute ist nicht der Zeitpunkt, darüber zu sprechen, wohin wir fliegen werden. Sie können aber davon ausgehen, dass wir uns natürlich angeschaut haben, welche Passagierströme gibt es denn aus dem Großraum von Basel, wo reisen denn heute die Passagiere hin, und darauf basierend werden wir unser Angebot dimensionieren und aufbauen.
Herr Marian-Fock vom Radio Basel, wie laufen die Gespräche mit dem EuroAirport Basel?
EuroAirport?
Yeah, so
EuroAirport?
how are the discussions with EuroAirport? What's the question?
If we have discussions with
Yeah.
EuroAirport, yeah, we have been working very close to the EuroAirport because once we decided to build something here, we needed to know their capacity, their plans for the future. So we are very well aligned with them, working very close with them.
You know, but if I can follow up on that one, Basel Airport basically said yesterday they are full, they cannot, they have no way of accommodating the amount of passengers you are having in mind there for your profile.
Yeah, I think.
That doesn't sound very aligned to me.
Yeah, it's important to step back and analyze what you're saying. The airport is not completely full. There are waves on rush hours that the capacity of the airport is very close to their limit, mainly during early morning and during late afternoon, early evening, but not during the whole day. And of course, they have their growth plans.
I'm sorry, but if we are talking about flying low cost, maybe for the pharma industry, from Basel to Boston, I mean, this is an obvious choice. then those pharma guys want to leave at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock early in the morning at least in order to make it to Boston for a business day. They don't fly 3 o'clock in the afternoon and arrive in the US at 8 at night and then basically sleep there overnight and then go to the job the next morning.
Yeah.
So we have some restrictions here.
Again,
I'm sorry if I'm
No, it's important question you were raising, very important. We haven't yet disclosed our network, not even our flight schedule, but we have it drafted already. Basel Airport is not a slot-restricted airport, so this means that there are still slots available. I don't know if all of you know what a slot-restricted airport is when the airport is with limited capacity, and they attribute slots which are specific times, as Zurich is today. The capacity in Zurich is very close to the limit. But Basel is not a slot-restricted airport. So that said, this means that there are still slots, there are still times available to depart even at 6 a.m. When I said that there is a congested wave on early morning, doesn't mean that there is no more terminal capacity, no more ramp capacity, no more runway capacity. They are growing. The capacity of the airport will need to grow to attend the demand. But this doesn't mean that we cannot plug a flight at 6 a.m.
I think also an important element is that not all 38 aircrafts will be sitting in Basel or parked in Basel. So this is, it's a subset of that will be for Basel now.
Yeah.
Wem darf ich das Wort geben? Bitte schön.
Werner Sodermann vom Sky News. Die Frage, wie Sie jetzt gerade angekündigt haben, die 38 Flugzeuge, die werden ja wahrscheinlich in ganz Europa verteilt. Das Potenzial für Basel, ist das für 5 Flugzeuge oder für 10? Wie schaut das in Ihren Augen aus?
Also der Flugplan orientiert sich an der Nachfrage und daraus bauen wir die Destinationen und Frequenzen. Und sehen Sie es mir nach, ich kann heute noch nicht genau sagen, wie viele Flugzeuge in Basel stationiert sein werden. Denn wir sehen ja auch mit anderen Airlines, dass Märkte sich bewegen und verändern. Und sobald wir sehen, dass die Nachfrage anzieht, werden wir auch mehr Flugzeuge in Basel stationieren.
Bitte?
Waldesheim, Schweizer Radio. Wie lange geben Sie sich Zeit, bis Sie dann effektiv das Geld zusammen haben? Also wie lange ist diese Zeitspanne, bis Sie sagen, okay, let's go, oder we finish the project?
Did you get the question?
In our timeline, because we just started now to talk to investors, so realistically we see, let's say by the end of the year, to have raised around A. Again, it's difficult to predict if it will be successful. If it needs longer, will take longer. Of course, as you say, there's always a cut-off time. So okay, if we don't have it, we don't have it. But I think we have a good level of confidence that we will be able to achieve it.
At the end of this year?
Yes, to have to, yeah, right. Exactly. And then, of course, then the next phase is then to build the airline and then to start the operations.
What is the minimum required? Someone investor has to invest, or basically how much money does he have to put into the fund?
Again, so we have different requirements. So there is we have the, let's say, the private investors. There was a certain limit that we put there, and then for the institutional, of course, that limit or that ticket is much bigger. So I don't know. We don't want to disclose the numbers to the public today, but these are for the private investor. These are amounts that are, I think, that we put the limit in order to attract, let's say, a wider audience or possibility for a number of investors to invest.
Below $1 million or something like that.
How optimistic are you that you're going to get your hands on these A321neo models that are highly popular in the international?
Yeah, we have been talking already with the lessors. The question here is that, of course, if you go knock on the Airbus door and say, I want an A321 for next month, they are not going to have because there is a queue. But this queue is basically from the lessors, the leasing companies. And we have been already discussing with many of them, and they have the airplanes available on time for us.
Yeah, so we have a very good view on what is the availability there, and of course how this availability is changing. But so how we see it today is that the availability that's on the market with the lessors is in line with our business plan.
The plane is just one factor. You need also the captains and the staff, the stewards, everything. So this is very, at the moment there's a big demand, for example, Swiss and other airlines. So what will you do there? I mean, will you raise them in China? I don't know.
You mean?
Or in Asia, or
personnel, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, this is a good question. The process, first, we need our fundraising to be, round A fundraising to be finished. Then we will kick off the air operator certificate process. This process is a process that is run together with the Federal Office of Civil Aviation, and it takes, in average, around 10 months. During this process, that will be the time to build up the airline. So all the rules, the procedures, the training, the hiring personnel, the first pilots, the first cabin crew, the first management personnel, to train everybody. And after we finish and we receive the certification process, then we will be able to start public transport. And then is when we start to grow. And even though there is talkings about in short time the industry could see a pilot shortage, there are still pilots in the market. There are new pilots coming into the market, and there are European pilots flying in Middle East and China that want to come back. So it's not that hard. We believe it's challenging. It's true. But we believe we can make it.
The type certificate of the A320 is valuable as well for this aircraft. So there's a very big pool of pilots. One of the advantages we also can offer to pilots is this is long haul. And long haul for a pilot is more attractive than short. This is one of the advantages.
It's beneficial for the quality of life of the pilots because the flights are longer.
You said that it means you will start earliest in 2020.
No, we are aiming
10 months and raising the money. I mean, 10 months.
We are aiming second half of 19. That's our target to launch the public transport.
Nächste Frage bitte, wenn darf ich das Wort geben? Frau Voigt.
And how many airplanes what's your minimum amount of airplanes you want to get started with?
We start with one to run the certification process, all the tests, all the proving flights, the proving runs, and then we launch operation with for public transport. We start selling and launching operations with this aircraft already plugging in our growth. We have a growth plan in place.
Herr Brecher?
I wanted to talk about competition for a moment. Do you think that large airlines such as Swiss will just sit and wait if your model actually works the way that you described it? Couldn't they just do the same?
Ja, that's a good question. Or ja, ich kann in Deutsch antworten, oder? Ja. Gute Frage. Was wird der Wettbewerb machen? Airline-Business ist ein hochdynamisches und wettbewerbsintensives Umfeld. Die Wahrscheinlichkeit, dass ein anderer Wettbewerber ein ähnliches Konzept startet, ist vorhanden. Das ist richtig. Wir glauben aber, dass wir mit unserem Modell erfolgreich sein werden, weil wir eben auch eine Neugründung sind und damit viele Dinge gestalten können und aufbauen können von der sozusagen grünen Wiese. Wir erwarten eine Wettbewerbsreaktion, das ist richtig, und das haben wir in unserem Konzept vorgesehen.
Wer war zuerst?
Ja.
Herr Reim? Herr, Entschuldigung.
Es steht auf der Fahne, Welcome to the digital era. Was genau wollen Sie damit ausdrücken? Sie haben vorhin betont, ja, das Ganze wird sehr digital sein. Können Sie da was Konkretes sagen?
Das hat natürlich viel mit IT-Systemen zu tun. Ja. Als Neugründung können wir sozusagen moderne und innovative IT-Systeme für unsere Operations einsetzen, sowohl im Finanzbereich, im betrieblichen Bereich, also Airline-Produktion, aber auch im kommerziellen Bereich. Wir werden auf der kommerziellen Seite ein System aufbauen, was hauptsächlich auf Direktvertrieb münzt, und wir müssen in Anführungszeichen nicht bestehende Systeme weiter betreiben. Und das ist auch der digitale Aspekt darin. Wir werden mit unseren Kunden mit digitalen Medien kommunizieren. Wir werden die Möglichkeit haben, alles über eine App zu organisieren und müssen nicht den Verkauf über, ich sag mal, alte, eingefahrene Wege aufstellen. Dafür steht auch das Digitale.
Also nichts Revolutionäres.
Doch, das ist revolutionär.
I think the way that customers are buying tickets has changed over the years. So the internet has made it possible for customers to buy tickets and to compare pricing as well, and the systems we will put in place as well will be in line with those systems to make sure that we can offer the customers the right package and as well that it's efficiently distributed to our customer audience. And that's where digitalization is so that is very important.
Hier war eine Frage.
Ja, ich bin im Schweizer Wochenende. Man hat vor, mit dem Bundesamt für Zivilluftfahrt zu sprechen. So ist das natürlich schon passiert.
Office of Civil Aviation, Federal Office of Civil Aviation. When do you plan to talk to them?
Right. Okay, so as soon as we raise the round 8, the first round of the 100 million, we'll be approaching them in order to align with them the launch of the AOC certification process.
Okay.
Just to understand it correctly, is it 50 or 15, the first round?
No, the 5-0. 5-0.
5-0.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
5-0.
And other question, do you have talks with, for example, EasyJet, because they have short haul kind of delivering system to you? Because all experts says that could be an idea for you.
It's a natural thing to think about.
But no talks yet.
Well, preliminary talks have been conducted already.
So we've done talks with partners already.
Partners, yeah.
Preliminary talks.
Yeah. So it's a natural thing to connect with them.
Also, what you see in the market is that you see already a number of carriers working together in making those systems available.
Just last question, because you mentioned that Women is kind of a platform you want to build. So what I think is kind of Flixbus. It's also just a platform, and all there are companies just bring their planes, but they are on your platform. Is this kind of a model?
No, when we mention platform, it's a way of saying what we are building. But I mentioned that it consists of many elements.
It's an airline, so it will not be a virtual company. No. It's the airline itself, with all the assets required to run.
This is required to be certified for public transport.
Weitere Fragen? Keine weiteren Fragen mehr? Dann würde ich sagen, danken wir Ihnen für die Aufmerksamkeit, haben uns gefreut, dass wir in diesen Austausch treten konnten und wünsche Ihnen einen guten Tag.
Thank you.
Vielen Dank.
Thank you.
Thank you.